Would your own mother hide your passport just so you'd miss the biggest opportunity of your life? Mine did. And TSA still knew my name. That day changed everything. And you won't believe where I finally found it. Before I unpack how wild this got, tell me in the comments where you're watching from. I need to know if this level of family sabotage is just a southern thing, or does it happen everywhere? Now buckle up, because it starts at 6 a.m. on a Monday I'll never forget. My alarm didn't need to go off that morning. I'd been awake since 4:30 running through my keynote presentation in my head for the 100th time. This wasn't just any conference, this was the Tech Next Summit in San Francisco, where I'd be presenting my AI framework to over 3,000 industry leaders. 6 months of preparation, 3 years of building my reputation, all leading to this moment. I slipped out of bed in my childhood room. Yeah, you heard that right. 32 years old, senior developer at a Fortune 500 company, and living with my mother in Atlanta. Not by choice, mind you. After Dad's sudden heart attack 8 months ago, Mom had played the grieving widow card so well I'd temporarily moved back to help her adjust. Biggest mistake of my life. Everything was packed. My carry-on sat by the door with my laptop, presentation materials, and the outfit I'd splurged on specifically for this keynote. Navy blue power suit that cost more than my monthly car payment. Worth every penny if it helped me nail this opportunity. Just need my passport, I whispered to myself, heading to my dresser where I always kept it in the top drawer under my jewelry box. The jewelry box was there. The passport wasn't. My heart did that little skip thing, you know the one. That moment when your brain says don't panic, but your body's already flooding with adrenaline. I lifted everything out of the drawer. Nothing. Checked the second drawer. The third. Dumped my entire purse on the bed. Checked my laptop bag 3 times. Mom? I called out, trying to keep my voice steady. Have you seen my passport? She appeared in my doorway wearing her pink bathrobe, coffee mug in hand, looking like butter wouldn't melt in her mouth. Passport? No, baby. Why would I touch your passport? The way she said it. That slight upturn at the end, like she was amused. My skin prickled. My flight's in 3 hours, Mom. It was right here yesterday. She shrugged. Actually shrugged. Maybe you misplaced it? You've been so stressed about this little work thing. Little work thing. I tore apart my room, then the bathroom, the kitchen, even checked the freezer because at this point, logic had left the building. Nothing. My phone showed 6:47 a.m. My flight was at 9:30. You need to calm down, Keisha, Mom said, sipping her coffee while I literally crawled on my hands and knees checking under the couch. Getting hysterical won't help. Maybe this is God's way of saying you shouldn't go. I froze. There it was. The slip. What did you just say? I'm just saying everything happens for a reason. Maybe you're not meant to speak at this conference. Maybe you should focus on what's important. Family. If you're watching this and your jaw just dropped, drop a comment because mine hit the floor. But here's the thing about growing up with a master manipulator, you learn to play chess when everyone else is playing checkers. I stood up slowly, brushing dust off my knees. My mother watched me with those calculating eyes I'd learned to recognize over the years. The same look she had when she'd accidentally deleted my college applications from the family computer. The same look when my prom date mysteriously got food poisoning the day of the dance. You're right, Mom, I said, pulling out my phone. Everything does happen for a reason. Her eyebrows rose slightly, victory flickering in her eyes. I dialed 911. What are you doing? Her voice pitched higher. Hi. Yes, I need to report a theft, I said calmly into the phone. My passport has been stolen from my home. I have an international flight in 3 hours, and I believe this was deliberate sabotage of my career. Mom's coffee mug rattled against the counter. Keisha Marie Johnson, you hang up that phone right now. The address is 4827 Peachtree Lane. Yes, I'll wait for an officer. The 911 operator was incredibly helpful. Within 20 minutes, Officer Chen arrived. Mom had retreated to her room, probably destroying evidence or practicing her innocent old lady act. I gave Officer Chen the full rundown, including my suspicion. Ma'am, without proof of theft versus misplacement, he started. I understand, I just need the police report for documentation. I'm going to try to board with alternative ID. He looked at me with something like respect. Smart move. I'll file this immediately. You can access the report number online within the hour. Mom emerged as Officer Chen was leaving, clutching her chest dramatically. I can't believe you'd embarrass me like this. The neighbors saw a police car. Embarrassment is the least of your problems if I miss this conference, I said, grabbing my bags. I'm going to the airport. Without a passport? Keisha, don't be ridiculous. Watch me. The Uber ride to Hartsfield-Jackson gave me exactly 37 minutes to execute Plan B. See, what my mother didn't know was that I'd been preparing for her sabotage for months. Ever since she'd accidentally thrown away my job offer letter from Microsoft last year, claiming she thought it was junk mail. I'd learned to create redundancies. I had high-resolution scans of every important document in my life stored in 3 different cloud services. My Real ID driver's license was valid. I had my global entry card, my work ID, 3 credit cards matching my name, utility bills, everything TSA might possibly need. But would it be enough? I typed frantically on my phone, researching TSA policies. Turns out you can fly domestically without standard ID, it just requires extra screening. My heart rate settled slightly. Then I did something else. I opened my presentation software and started recording. Hi everyone, Keisha Johnson here. In exactly 90 minutes, I'm supposed to be boarding a flight to San Francisco for Tech Next Summit. Someone has hidden my passport, attempting to sabotage my keynote presentation. But here's the thing about working in tech. We believe in redundancy, backup plans, and never ever giving up. I set it to live stream in exactly 2 hours if I didn't cancel it. Insurance policy. The airport was packed. Monday morning business travelers everywhere. I approached the TSA supervisor desk, my hands steady despite the chaos in my chest. I need to invoke the alternative ID protocol, I said clearly. My passport was stolen this morning. I have a police report number and multiple forms of alternative identification. The supervisor, a woman named Patricia with kind eyes and silver hair, looked at my documents. Honey, you came prepared. Follow me. What happened next was surreal. Patricia walked me to a separate screening area. 2 other TSA agents joined us. They pulled up some system on their computer, asked me questions only I would know. Previous addresses, partial social security number, my mother's maiden name, ironic, right? Then one of them looked at the screen and said something that made my blood run cold. Miss Johnson, you're already in our system. You have global entry and TSA pre-check. We have your biometrics on file. Patricia smiled. Stand right here for the facial recognition scan. The machine beeped green. Verified. But that's not all, the younger TSA agent said, frowning at his screen. There's a note here. You've been flagged. My stomach dropped. Flagged? For what? No, not that kind of flag. It's unusual. Someone called this morning trying to report you as a security threat. Said you were mentally unstable and shouldn't be allowed to fly. The room went silent. Patricia's kind eyes turned sharp. When? About an hour ago. The caller claimed to be your emergency contact, a Mrs. Gloria Johnson. My mother, my own mother, had tried to get me on a no-fly list. That's my mother, I said quietly. She's trying to stop me from making a career-defining presentation. The 3 TSA agents exchanged looks. Patricia pulled up something else on her computer. The call was traced to your home address, same one from your ID. Ma'am, filing a false security report is a federal crime. I know. My voice was steady but my hands were shaking. Can I still fly? Patricia studied me for a long moment. The report was obviously false. You've provided extensive documentation, passed our verification, and frankly whoever called did a poor job of it. Claimed you were violent but couldn't provide any specifics. We get vindictive family members trying this sometimes. She stamped something on a piece of paper. This is your gate pass authorization. Show this to the airline. You're clear to fly. I could have cried. Instead, I held it together and practically ran to the American Airlines counter. The agent there was less sympathetic initially. Without a passport or standard ID, I can't, she started. I have TSA authorization, a police report, real ID, and global entry. I spread everything on the counter. Please, I'm speaking at Tech Next Summit. 3,000 people are expecting me. She called her supervisor. He called someone else. 20 minutes of phone calls while I watched the clock tick toward boarding time. Finally, the supervisor returned. Miss Johnson, we can accommodate you, but you'll need to complete additional verification at the gate. Also, he paused. Someone from your company called. A Mr. David Kim? He's vouching for your identity and said to tell you to check your email. David, my boss, my brilliant, wonderful boss. I checked my email while speed walking to the gate. Keisha, heard about your situation through the grapevine. Overnighted replacement documents to SF Hotel. Also upgraded your return flight to first class. Don't let anyone dim your light. Knock them dead. DK. But wait, how did he know? I hadn't told anyone at work yet. Then I saw the second email. From our company's head of security. Unusual activity alert. Someone attempted to access your employee records this morning. Claiming to be you, saying you'd lost your credentials. IP traced to Atlanta residential address. Attempted access denied. Assume your identity may be compromised. The timestamp was 5:45 a.m. Before I'd even discovered my passport missing. My mother had been planning this for hours, maybe days. I made it to the gate with 10 minutes to spare. The gate agent reviewed my papers, made another call, then something amazing happened. She smiled and said, Miss Johnson, we've actually been expecting you. You've been upgraded to first class, courtesy of Tech Next Summit. Apparently you're our VIP speaker. How did they know I was having issues? As I settled into seat 2A, I opened Twitter. My backup livestream hadn't posted because I'd canceled it, but something else had. David had tweeted, when someone tries to stop a rising star, the universe conspires to lift them higher. Can't wait to watch at Keisha Jace Code's keynote from #next today. She'll be there no matter what obstacles appear. It had 5,000 retweets already. My phone buzzed. A text from Mom. Your room better be cleared out when you get back. I won't have a liar and a dramatist in my house. I screenshot it, evidence. Then another text. From a number I didn't recognize. Miss Johnson, this is Patricia from TSA. Off the record, we've documented everything. If you need witnesses for any legal proceedings, we have recordings of that false report. Stay strong. As the plane lifted off, I did something spontaneous. I took a selfie, clearly showing me in first class, champagne glass visible, Atlanta disappearing below. I posted it to Instagram with the caption, when they try to bury you, remember you're a seed. San Francisco, here I come. Within minutes it had hundreds of likes. Comments poured in, my colleagues, industry connections, even some competitors wishing me luck. But the best comment, from an unknown account. Proud of you, baby girl. Dad's watching from above. I ugly cried right there in first class. The flight attendant brought me tissues and an extra mini bottle of champagne. Rough morning? She asked kindly. You have no idea. But the drama was far from over. Because what happened when I landed in San Francisco changed everything. San Francisco International Airport was buzzing when we touched down at 2:15 p.m. Pacific time. I had exactly 2 hours before my keynote. 2 hours to get to the hotel, change, and somehow pull myself together after the morning from hell. My phone exploded with notifications the moment I turned off airplane mode. 47 missed calls from Mom. I ignored them all. 3 voicemails from David. Dozens of texts from colleagues who'd seen the social media storm brewing. But one message stopped me cold. It was from my building's security back in Atlanta, sent an hour ago. Miss Johnson, your mother was seen entering your room with boxes. Thought you should know. She was packing my stuff. While I was in the air, she was erasing me from her home. Fine. 2 could play that game. I called my best friend Tanya while waiting for my Uber. I need you to do something for me. How fast can you get to my mom's house? Girl, I saw everything on Twitter. 20 minutes. What do you need? There's a hidden camera in my room. I installed it last month after she went through my work papers. It's disguised as a phone charger, plugged in behind my nightstand. Can you get it before she finds it? On my way. Keisha, are you okay? I will be. Just get that camera. The Fairmont Hotel was everything you'd expect from a luxury San Francisco property. Marble, gold accents, and a conference energy that hit you the moment you walked in. Tech people everywhere. And then I saw it. A massive digital board in the lobby. Keynote speaker, 4:30 p.m., Keisha Johnson, Revolutionary AI Frameworks for Tomorrow. My name. In 3-foot letters. The front desk clerk smiled. Miss Johnson, we've been expecting you. There's a package from a Mr. Kim, marked urgent. David's overnight package. Inside a temporary passport card, copies of all my documents, a company credit card and a handwritten note. They tried to dim your light, show them what fire looks like instead. My room was on the executive floor. The moment I walked in, I knew David had done more than just send documents. There was a professional makeup artist waiting, a hairstylist, and a garment bag with a note. Saw your suit might be wrinkled from the drama. This one's better anyway. DK. Inside was a deep emerald green designer dress that probably cost more than my monthly salary. It fit like it was made for me. Mr. Kim hired us to make sure you look like the star you are, the makeup artist said. He said someone tried to steal your spotlight today. Something like that. As they worked their magic, I pulled up my presentation one final time. My hands were steady now. The adrenaline had transformed into something else. Determination, fire. At 4:25, I stood backstage at the main conference hall. 3,000 seats, nearly all full. The introducer was talking about my credentials, my innovations, the AI framework that had caught the industry's attention. Then she said something unexpected. And in a remarkable display of dedication, Miss Johnson overcame significant personal challenges just to be here today. She's proof that true innovators don't let anything stop them. Please welcome Keisha Johnson. The applause was thunderous. I walked onto that stage like I owned it. Because in that moment I did. Good afternoon, everyone. Before I dive into AI frameworks, let me tell you something about redundancy and backup systems. This morning someone tried to ensure I wouldn't be standing here. They hid my passport. They called federal authorities with false reports. They tried to erase my existence from my own home. The audience went silent. But here's what they didn't understand about those of us who build the future. We plan for failure. We create redundancies. We adapt. We overcome. And we never ever give up. The crowd erupted. So let's talk about AI frameworks. And why the same principles that got me on this stage today are the ones that will revolutionize how we approach machine learning tomorrow. I killed it. Absolutely destroyed that presentation. 45 minutes of pure fire. The Q&A session went 20 minutes over because people wouldn't stop asking questions. 3 job offers on the spot. 2 acquisition proposals for my framework. And a standing ovation that lasted so long, the conference organizers had to intervene. But the best part, someone was live streaming the whole thing. My presentation was trending on Twitter before I even left the stage. As I walked off, my phone buzzed. Tanya, got the camera. You need to see this. Your mom had help. My blood went cold. What do you mean? Just check the footage. I'm uploading it to the cloud now. I found a quiet corner and opened the file. What I saw made everything make sense. And it made me angrier than I'd ever been in my life. Because my mother wasn't working alone. The footage was crystal clear. Mom entered my room at 11 p.m. the night before my flight. But she wasn't alone. My Aunt Cheryl was with her, Dad's sister, the one who'd been supporting Mom through her grief. I watched them methodically go through my drawers, heard their conversation clear as day. You sure about this, Gloria? Aunt Cheryl asked. She's getting too big for her britches. First she moves away for college. Then she gets these fancy jobs. Now she's speaking at conferences. She's forgetting where she comes from. Forgetting family. But this could really hurt her career. Good. Maybe then she'll realize family is more important than any job. Maybe she'll stay home where she belongs. Take care of me like a good daughter should. They found my passport. Mom held it up like a trophy. She'll thank me one day. When she realizes I saved her from becoming one of those career women who dies alone with just cats and a 401k. Aunt Cheryl laughed. Where you gonna hide it? Somewhere she'd never look. The flour canister. Girl hasn't cooked a thing since she moved back. They left my room giggling like teenagers who'd pulled a prank. But that wasn't the worst part. The camera kept recording. At 5:30 a.m., Mom came back. Alone this time. She took photos of several of my documents with her phone. My social security card, my work ID, my birth certificate. Then she made a phone call. Yes, I need to report a security concern about someone trying to fly today. My daughter, she's having a mental breakdown. I had to stop the video. My hands were shaking with rage. Tanya texted, there's more. Fast forward to this morning around 10 a.m. I did. Mom was back in my room with boxes, but she was on the phone again. This time with someone different. Yes, Marcus, I got her passport hidden. She won't make that conference. No, she doesn't suspect you're involved. Yes, I'll make sure she loses this job too. Then she'll have to accept your proposal. A good Christian woman needs a husband, not a career. You've been so patient waiting for her to come to her senses. Don't worry, baby. I'll make sure my daughter ends up with you even if I have to destroy everything else in her life first. Marcus Patterson. The man Mom had been trying to set me up with for 3 years. The one who believed women shouldn't work after marriage. The one I'd rejected dozens of times. The one who'd mysteriously shown up at every family gathering, despite me making it clear I wasn't interested. This wasn't just about control. This was about forcing me into a life I'd explicitly rejected. I immediately called my lawyer. Yes, I have one. When you grow up with a manipulative parent, you learn to protect yourself legally. Melissa, I need you to see something. I'm sending you video files now. 20 minutes later she called back. Keisha, this is evidence of conspiracy theft, false reporting to federal authorities, identity theft, and potentially stalking if this Marcus person is involved. You could press charges. Do it, all of it. Are you sure? This is your mother. A mother who tried to destroy my life to force me into an arranged marriage. Yes, I'm sure. My phone rang. Unknown San Francisco number. Miss Johnson, this is Rebecca Chen from TechCrunch. We saw your presentation, and there are rumors about what you overcame to get here. Would you be willing to do an interview? I thought about it for exactly 3 seconds. Yes, but I want it recorded. Live. 1 hour later I was sitting in front of a camera, telling the entire story. The passport, the false reports, the footage, all of it. Rebecca's eyes got wider with every detail. And you're saying your mother did this to force you into an arranged marriage with a man who believes women shouldn't have careers? Yes. The interview went viral within hours. #Let Keisha Work started trending. Women in tech shared their own stories of family sabotage. The discourse was intense. My phone buzzed constantly. Mom calling. Aunt Cheryl. Unknown numbers that were probably Marcus. I ignored them all. Then David called. Keisha, I just watched the interview. First, I'm proud of you. Second, the board wants to offer you something. The board, remote work, permanently, from anywhere. They don't want you dealing with this family situation while trying to work. Also a raise, significant, and a security detail if you need it. I cried again, good tears this time. That night, from my hotel room overlooking the San Francisco Bay, I did 2 things. First, I applied for a restraining order against Marcus Patterson. Melissa said the video evidence of conspiracy was enough. Second, I texted Mom. I know about Marcus. I know about everything. The FBI will be in touch about your false security report. My lawyers will handle the rest. Don't contact me again. She responded immediately. You're being dramatic. I'm your mother. I was trying to help you. I didn't reply. Instead, I posted the flower canister video to Twitter with one caption. When they say family comes first, make sure they mean your well-being, not their control. But the story doesn't end there. Because what happened when I flew back to Atlanta was the final twist nobody saw coming. My return flight was Thursday evening. First class again, courtesy of my company. The 3 days in San Francisco had been transformative. Not just the conference but the aftermath. Job offers, speaking engagements, a book deal opportunity. My story had resonated with thousands of women who'd experienced similar family sabotage. But I had unfinished business in Atlanta. Tanya picked me up from the airport. Your mom's been telling everyone you've lost your mind, that you're having a breakdown. The whole neighborhood thinks you're unstable. Good, let them. We drove straight to Mom's house. My key still worked, surprisingly. The house was quiet. Mom's car was gone. Perfect. I went straight to the kitchen. To the flower canister on the counter. The decorative one she never actually used for flour, because she hadn't baked anything in years. I opened it. There it was. My passport. Covered in flour like a piece of evidence at a crime scene. I took a photo, posted it immediately. Found it. Exactly where the camera footage said it would be. In the flower canister of a woman who hasn't baked since 2019. Then I did something petty. Maybe even wrong. But it felt right in the moment. I took every single family photo of me from the walls. Every graduation picture. Every achievement. Every memory where I was smiling, succeeding, thriving. I left the frames. Just removed myself from her narrative. The same way she'd tried to remove me from my own life. In my room, which was indeed boxed up, I found something that broke my heart and sealed my decision. A journal. Mom's journal. Recent entries. Marcus says once they're married, Keisha will learn her place. She'll give me grandchildren. She'll stop this nonsense about careers and conferences. She'll be a proper daughter. Marcus has promised to take care of everything, even offered to pay off the house if I help him. Just need to break her spirit first. Make her desperate enough to accept his proposal. I photographed every page. As I was leaving, Mom pulled up. We stood in the driveway, facing each other like strangers. You found it, she said simply. I found everything, including your deal with Marcus. Her face didn't even change. You'll thank me one day, when you're old and alone with no family. I'd rather be alone than controlled. And for the record, I have a family. The one I chose. The one that supports my dreams instead of sabotaging them. I'm your mother. No, you're someone who gave birth to me. Mothers don't destroy their children's dreams for 30 pieces of silver from a man who wants to own them. I walked past her. She grabbed my arm. You walk away now. You're dead to me. I looked at her hand on my arm, then at her face. I've been dead to you since the moment I chose myself over your plans. This just makes it official. I left, and I haven't been back. The restraining order against Marcus was approved. The FBI declined to prosecute Mom for the false report but gave her a warning that went on record. I found my own apartment in Atlanta, with security and doormen who don't let unannounced visitors up. Mom tried one more thing. She called my company claiming I'd stolen money from her. By then they knew the story. HR laughed and forwarded her complaint to my lawyer. 6 months later, I'm thriving. The keynote led to consulting opportunities. My AI framework is being implemented by 3 Fortune 500 companies. I bought my own place, in my name only, with a safe where I keep my passport and important documents. And yes, I have a new flour canister in my kitchen. I actually use it for flour, because I learned to bake. Turns out when you're not spending all your energy defending yourself from family sabotage, you have time for hobbies. Some of you watching might think I'm heartless, that I should forgive her because she's my mother. But here's what I learned. DNA doesn't give anyone the right to destroy you. Love doesn't look like control, and sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is choose yourself, even when everyone says you're wrong for doing it. My dad would be proud. I know, because Aunt Janet, his other sister, the one who cut Mom off years ago, reached out after seeing everything online. She said, "Your father always worried Gloria would try to clip your wings. He'd be so proud you learned to fly anyway." So to those watching who are dealing with toxic family, who are being sabotaged by people who claim to love you, who are being forced to choose between your dreams and their demands, let me tell you something. Choose yourself, every single time. The guilt fades. The freedom doesn't. And always, always, check the flour canister. If this story resonated with you, if you've experienced family sabotage, drop a comment below. Share your story. Let's normalize choosing ourselves over toxic tradition. And remember, when someone hides your passport, they're not trying to keep you safe. They're trying to keep you small. Don't let them. This is Keisha, signing off. Stay strong, stay smart, and always keep your documents in a safe. Peace out.